Welcome back, true believers and all you merry Marvelites, to another very interesting Avengers project related video. So of course, as you guys would hopefully know by now, is that today is the Marvel Games panel for New York Comic Con. And of course, for this time of this recording, they just finished wrapping up their main presentation for the entirety of the panel, and they did show off some cool stuff with Marvel Contest of Champions. We do have an official release date for Iron Man VR, which I'm actually really excited about, is on February 28th, 2020, which is a bit upsetting because they did officially confirm previously that it would come out sometime in 2019, but I guess they have a few more bugs to polish or a few things to patch up with the game, so it's actually going to be coming out in February 28th, 2020 instead, which is still pretty exciting. But of course, the highlight is that we do have a new trailer and actually another video slash behind the scenes trailer or sneak peek at Miss Marvel, Kamala Khan, which, surprise, you know, we all knew she was going to be in the game, and if you guys have been following my channel or have just been keeping up with the game's news, it's been leaked a lot that Miss Marvel is going to be the main character, or at least a primary character, to have a big role in this story for Marvel's Avengers, that she is going to be the one to reassemble the team after the events of A-Day. She's going to try and come back, revitalize the group, and take down AIM because they're the new threat that they have to face. And from the, the news that was just revealed in this trailer, from the screenshots I've seen, it definitely seems like that's going to be the case. I still haven't seen the trailer yet, or this behind-the-scenes video, which we will dive into a bit later. But first, just kind of discuss what my feelings are right now, is that yes, this is all great stuff for the game. We also got a small leaked look at the game's collector's edition, which I will put on screen right now, which I am frankly not really going to be picking up myself because I'm not really fond of how these items are looking for the game. If you are, that's great, but for me, I'll probably skip on this. But here's the thing. Like I just said, she was previously leaked to be in the game, and what we saw in the A-Day trailer, she's going to be a big focus. She gets exposed by the Terrigen Mist. She absorbs the mist and gains these powers to become Miss Marvel. We know this. I mean, if you have a brain, you know that Captain America's not really dead. He's going to come back and face off the threat, the AIM soldiers and all this. Kamala Khan's going to turn to Miss Marvel, and since she's the one narrating the trailers, you can put two and two together, who's narrating the trailers and who this random girl is. She's going to be involved with the story in a heavy way. So now we're getting a deeper look into that, but still, with what they were saying on these descriptions, that this is going to be an event not to miss. This is a huge, major reveal, major surprises, something you'll never expect coming, and we all expected it coming, and, I just really hope that whatever they decide to show next, and what they did say is that Thor Week is now over, but now they're going to continue their Hero Weeks on the Twitter page with Kamala Khan, so they're going to go over her costume and her powers and all that, so that'll be interesting. But still, I was expecting a little bit more from this. Of course, you all know me behind me. I was hoping for some Spider-Man stuff. We didn't get it. That's okay, though, because I'm still holding out hope he's in the game. But I just hope that with this trailer, which I haven't seen yet, I hope it really excites me more about her character, since I will read some bits of an article afterwards that kind of describe her role, which I'm not really looking forward to, if I'm going to be honest. But hopefully this trailer will, subvert my expectations and change my feelings as of right now. But without further ado, we're going to begin the Kamala Khan New York Comic Con story trailer and then move on to her behind-the-scenes video. So let's go and do this. 3, 2, 1, go. I hope this is good.
What is your name?
Kamala Khan.
It's so small! I was not expecting that. Or Thor's just giant.
Some weird kid from Jersey who didn't fit in.
Okay.
I kind of
Graphics look nice.
Something off of AIM's server.
Okay.
What? Why? Why?
I like the facial capture.
People like me
Oh!
Inhuman.
Oh! Inhumans, okay.
He claims we're sick, violent. He says our disease will kill us in the end.
Interesting.
Well, I don't believe it.
Whoa,
The
okay.
Avengers were set up. AIM, the so-called cure, it's just not lining up. There's something wrong and I can feel it.
Acting seems good. Okay. Interesting.
It isn't human. We did this, and she needs your help. I can't
You can't what? You're ditching me?
Hey, don't take it personally, kid. No, this is what he does.
Oh.
This was a mistake.
So you're both
Oh.
just gonna walk away? The Avengers were set up. Cap was murdered.
You think I don't know that?
Uh-oh.
I've played that day in my head 1,000 times. Guess what? No one cares. The world needed someone to blame, and he gave them their scapegoat. So, unless you have some kind of astounding proof, I suggest you both get off my land. What is that?
Proof.
A little bit of an MCU vibe there with their kind of little jokes inserted in, but I like the narrative so far. I mean, okay. That's another thing. Alright, that was an interesting trailer. I kind of like the narrative, the little small glimpses of Kamala Khan actually in, like, just normal Kamala Khan, what looked like she was infiltrating this AIM base. That was pretty cool looking. But again, you get the MCU vibe from the little lighthearted moments here and there, like what we just saw at the end, a little kind of, you can't tell me what to do. What was that? You know, like, so they're kind of trying to keep the similar tone to it, so it feels familiar to people. But I really hope they go above and beyond with this story. So far, the acting alone, Troy Baker and Nolan North, they're both, you know, God tier status, so I think they're going to be easily highlights of the game's portrayals of Hulk and Iron Man, and hopefully the same thing can be said for Miss Marvel, Kamala Khan, and Black Widow and Thor, all them. But yeah, again, thing at the end, we also didn't get a beta release date. A beta release date for the early beta access that players can unlock for the PS4 a week early compared to everyone else, and the other systems too. We don't know how that's going to work yet, but again, I thought we were going to get some big announcements similar to that at this panel, and all we got really for Avengers case is this trailer, a lot of info for Kamala Khan pretty much, and just some small showcases of concept art for some other suits of characters, which I will also show here, which look interesting. But again, it didn't grab me as much as I thought it would. Again, that looked interesting. It looked really, insightful to the world that Crystal, Square, Marvel, Eidos, Nixies, all these companies are developing for this game's narrative. I'm sure, hopefully, it'll be different enough from the MCU, but you can tell from those interactions alone, they're trying to keep similar traits to what the movies have done so much in the past, and to try and keep a familiar vibe to newcomers of the Avengers, or people who mainly only know them from the movies and not the comics, or maybe have only seen some movies and some of the cartoons and some of the comics, but this is all different to them, so they gotta see something truly extraordinary for this story. And again, it looked very intriguing, to say the very least, and I'm really liking the, facial expressions, specifically from the acting of the characters, this story. That's the biggest thing they're talking about so far, too, is how big and how impactful and meaningful this game's story is going to be. All original, all new tales, so ever expansive, the ongoing narrative that it's going to have with this years to come content. So if it works out, I think it could be really, really great. But right now, I'm still a bit, hesitant to see what the final product is going to be based on what the leaks are and what I've heard and this description, which I will read on the PlayStation blog post. It comes from Megan Marie, the community manager at Crystal Dynamics, and they basically break down important sequences and segments about Kamala Khan's character. And I will leave a link to it in the description below. But the main thing I want to point out about her impactful role in the story is that they say this: Kamala is an unapologetic fangirl, one of the traits we most love about her. Kamala wears her passion on her sleeve, making her relatable for many of us at the studio and for fellow fans worldwide. That's nice. Fandom is even the catalyst to her coming-of-age story. So her excitement for the Avengers, you know what they say, never meet your heroes. Well, I did, and it was awesome. That's what she is. This final line: invited to A-Day as an Avengers fan fiction contest finalist, young Kamala is exposed to Terrigen Mist during the unanticipated attack. I mean, in itself, that sounds like it's fan fiction. That it sounds like Kamala Khan wins a fan fiction contest to go see the Avengers on A-Day. when it is clearly a public event. You know, the people are there just to see the helicarrier, the Chimera, and all this stuff. And that the fact that she gets invited on there before her fan fiction that the Avengers are apparently reading, okay, that's certainly different from what we've seen in the MCU for sure. Is it a good choice? I don't know. I have to see more of it in action, you know, how that plays out in the story. But that's very interesting to me. It's something I have to get used to, I should say, with how they're portraying Kamala in this game. Because, you know, she's a very excitable person. She loves these superheroes in the Marvel comics as well. In the universe, she's like a big fan of Iron Man and Spider-Man too, so I hope they don't go overboard with that, and it didn't seem like it in the trailer, but I just hope they don't, you know, make her like a subpar character, or that they just, you know, implement some stuff that seems a bit like childish like that in a way. It just doesn't seem like a serious tonal setting for this story, but who knows, you know, that we've only seen so little of the story pretty much, so what am I to say? And there's some other stuff, you know, they talk about AIM and their involvement in the story, which is very important, and again, I will leave a link to it in the description. Basically kind of recapping the trailer that we just saw, but also kind of analyzing some important stuff about her character in this world, and again, I hope that they can truly expand upon her once we do see more of her in the story henceforth, you know, once the game's fully out for everyone, when the story's finished with all the content for years to come, once that's done, I hope her main role in the primary narrative with reassembling the team and fighting AIM, I hope that all goes well and smoothly and actually has a true emotional impact and feeling towards her as a character, and the other Avengers should also follow suit. But until then, that was her story trailer at New York Comic Con. There's also now this behind the scenes video, which, again, before I go into it, this is what they should have done for the Hero Weeks, is what I'm seeing. It's a 4-minute, almost 5-minute long trailer, 5 minutes essentially, a 5-minute long trailer going over Kamala Khan and her powers, and the developers discussing about her, the character. Why didn't they do that for the Hero Weeks? That would have been way better. Is that they had all these Twitter posts, these threads analyzing the heroic abilities for Iron Man, Hulk, Captain America, Black Widow, Thor. Why not do individual videos going over each of the Avengers with the developers discussing their thoughts about them, talking to Nolan North, interviewing them, which we saw at E3, the cast, you know, banded together, but do different. Do something different. One-on-one interviews with the developer, with the creative director, Sean Eskai, with Bill Roseman, with the artists, discussing what they went into designing their suits, their outfits, their newer looks that are way different from the comics and the MCU that people are a bit, you know, put off towards, like, oh, Captain America's suit, that looks weird, I don't know if I like that. Well, wait, this Hero Week actually discusses what makes this suit so different. That makes me more intrigued about it, instead of just discussing it on a Twitter post that no one's going to read unless, you know, people go out of their way to try and research about the game. But a YouTube video, an interview discussing these characters and a full analysis would be way better, in my opinion. So I don't know why they only did this for Ms. Marvel and not the other heroes, but with seeing this, it looks like we're going to get a full-on deep dive of her character based on what we just saw, and I'm very intrigued to see what that's all about. So without further ado, we're going to the second video, the Avengers, Marvel's Avengers, Ms. Marvel behind-the-scenes trailer from New York Comic Con. So this will be exciting, and I hope it's more, you know, intriguing than what that first trailer was, which was good, but hopefully this will shed a bit more light on Kamala's character as a whole. So without further ado, 3, 2, 1, go. Let's see. Oh, classic suit, okay. Already! So why didn't she have this costume?
Insane that Kamala is actually going to be in one of the biggest Marvel games that we've done.
Is that her default look or just a classic suit? See? Wait, so now we have...
the Marvel Universe. She was only invented, gosh,
Bill?
about 6 years ago. But even though she's very new, she's very classic.
She is
This is what they should have done for all the Hero Weeks. This looks great.
And she has something called polymorph powers, which means she can contort her body in different ways, and she can get really big and really small.
We spent.
I wonder if that's concept art for the game or just in general of her. It's a class, you know, street clothes.
Working with Sean Eskai and the rest of the creative team at Crystal Dynamics to sit down with Sean and talk about the characters.
She looks great.
He saw them.
To stay true to her.
I don't know, I'm like divided.
And then also tapping into our version of her.
The biggest difference between our game and the Kamala people have met in the comics, she gains her powers on A-Day.
Yeah. The Terrigen Mist,
She is
yes.
essentially just a little fangirl, right? She's a nerd. She loves the Marvel Universe. She lives in the Marvel Universe.
Her fan fiction comic is selected for the Avengers Celebration.
The Avengers are
Why?
experimental
I'm sorry.
technology,
I just
and
can't take that
something
seriously.
Pretty crazy happens with it.
She's exposed to Terrigen gas and is now labeled what is called an Inhuman.
She's got superpowers that she doesn't know what to do with in a world that hates superheroes.
She suspects
Okay.
that the Avengers were set up in A-Day. The role that Kamala plays is a unifier. She's really someone who is going to bring the Avengers back together.
Casting
Yeah.
Kamala
Well, the
was
leaks.
a
I
difficult
hope they do that in a
process.
good way.
We spent a lot of time looking for Sandra, and she did an impeccable job bringing
The voice
her to life.
actress. I saw that on a Twitter page.
When I found out I was going to play the role of Kamala Khan, I was like, are you kidding? I'm an Avenger?
She's a lot like the character.
That's
in
cool
many
that she's
ways,
excited about
so
it.
There's instant relatability.
She is a first-generation American like me. She's a young woman of color who has trouble fitting in like I do. And I
Interesting.
feel like she has all these personal struggles.
Are those, like, alternate
that
suits, I wonder?
Everyone can relate to.
In the cast of seasoned actors, she is the new one. In some sense, that forced structure between the seasoned actors and the new actor is sort of like the actual
See?
Kamala Khan.
More of this.
relationship to
The
her
mocap.
world, to her environment.
I really like seeing that.
One
They
thing
should have
really
done that for the
focused
Hero
on
Weeks on a
her
YouTube
gameplay
video.
and her style of moves reflecting her
Vince.
development as a character. So you might notice that there's at least one or two attacks that she sort of like made her own from the other Avengers and sort of integrated into her moveset.
Yeah, like
One
Hulk.
of the most iconic
I saw
things about
that.
Kamala is her ability to embiggen. And we actually realize this in a bunch
giant.
of different ways. She's able to like lengthen her attacks, she's able to avoid attacks while she's sort of mini embiggened. And then we also have the ultra embiggen state where she gets giant size, and at this point she's able to send enemies flying. We actually
probably
built
her
an
ultimate
entirely new
move.
reaction set for the enemies to like really deliver on the feel of being, 3 times, 4 times the size of the enemies you're sort of kicking around.
Putting together movement style for Kamala is just all in the imagination, I feel. Because at the end of the day, it's you who's standing there in this mocap space, imagining that your arm, Sandra's arm, is stretching out to the end of the room to grab somebody.
That's pretty cool.
It's just fun. I hope the fans
So is that like a
notice
classic
those
outfit or
little
like
details,
her
and
default
I hope
outfit in the
fans
game?
See how hard every single person worked, and
We
I
do.
hope the fans love the story as much as I do.
I hope
when
so
it
too.
comes to a new perspective on the Avengers, seeing them from a fangirl of someone who has always wanted to meet them, who's wanted to be one, we feel like players can
All those
really
suits.
connect with that.
Marvel has considered her an important enough character to be on the League
That's
of
cool.
the Avengers.
She's got superhero powers unlike any other.
So that's her
Avenger.
default suit in the
She's
game
not
with the
laying
pattern.
down for no
That's
one,
cool.
And I think those qualities, they cross boundaries. People can relate to it. She's rebellious. They want to be her. I want to be her.
The fact that she's the entry point
Nice.
character in this game makes so much sense because she really is the everyman. Like, people from all backgrounds and experiences can relate to her and have related to her since her inception. So it makes perfect sense for her to be bringing you into the Marvel Avengers game experience.
Okay. Well, that did a lot better of a job than I think the standard trailer did because they actually showcased what went into making Kamala Khan and how they individualized her from the other characters in the Avengers roster and all this. So there's a lot to go into it. There's a lot to analyze. And I think that, again, what they said, like, I hope everyone notices how hard everyone's working. We do. We truly do. And I do myself. Like, I've met them. I've met these amazing developers that are super kind-hearted and passionate about these characters, which is fantastic. And it's so amazing to actually end up, just receive a AAA Avengers game. Like, that's a dream come true for amongst a ton of Marvel fans. And I'm really looking forward to it. I just think the marketing could be doing a better of a job. Like, right here is what they should have been doing all along with these Hero Weeks with Iron Man, Hulk, Captain America. The footage that we saw, the 30-second trailers, just haven't been doing it. Those like here's the profile of them, here's them fighting some enemies, and then the green energy effect, and then some glimpses at their suits. This is what they should have done. Talk to the developers, talk to the voice actors, discuss the importance of the role, why it is so important that this game is being made with a new twist on the Avengers. This isn't the MCU. This isn't the comics. This is its own thing. And they need to highlight that more, and that is what this video just did. And I think they should have done more of that throughout the past week. So hopefully now that the footage is apparently more polished and we see Kamala Khan interacting with these other characters, hopefully that they now start to actually enhance the narrative, kind of start unveiling a bit more behind the curtain what's going on with AIM, stuff after A-Day, please. No more A-Day stuff. I need to know something else now. And what we're seeing is that it looks like that there's going to be a lot of an underlying thread of what's happening here, who are these people. Taskmaster was on the bridge, but clearly that was a setup. You know what, they say, like, we were set up. This is clearly a distraction from the real threat, which is the Terrigen crystal, which gets blown up, and then the Terrigen mist comes in and exposed by Kamala Khan and Inhumans. So that gives me an indication that the other Inhumans, like Black Bolt or maybe Lockjaw, might appear up or something. I don't know in this game. But considering that this is the Avengers and expanding roster of heroes, I'm expecting a lot more characters to be introduced through Kamala Khan interacting with the Avengers, and because of the Terrigen mist affecting everyone else in this world, I can see them doing something like that, introducing other characters like that in this game, continuing on for multiple years. And since it's a live service type of experience, it could be either really great if handled properly, or if they kind of botch the launch of the game with some of the heroes not really being fully fleshed out as you would expect them to be, then it might be an issue for players who want to jump in, play as Iron Man, then play as Miss Marvel, then play as Hulk. And will it all work out? I don't know. And it's really, kind of a bit concerning for me personally that we won't see the co-op until early next year, which is one of the biggest aspects about the game. And the game comes out May 15th, 2020. So I don't know. I really hope it works out. From what I'm seeing, it looks like they're on the right track. Overall, this Marvel Games panel was a bit of a bust for me. I'm interested. My excitement levels are being managed. I'm not like Spider-Man PS4 hype beyond through the roof, but I'm not like, comparison, Far From Home hype where I'm like barely excited for it at all. I'm in the middle. I love the developers. The game is interesting to me. I even have the poster of it right there. The, limited lithograph I got autographed by the amazing people from San Diego Comic-Con. So I'm excited. I just want it to do good. And I want to succeed because I'm really interested as to how this game is going to work visually, graphically, physically once you actually are playing the game with the characters within the story. And if it all combines into this great package, then this could possibly be, like what they're saying, a Game of the Year contender for years to come. Could surpass Spider-Man in terms of sales and quality. That's what they've said, and hopefully, based on this footage, I hope that is the case. But with all that said, everyone, that's the video I have for you today. It was a long, lengthy video because I don't really want to do a video breaking down everything, so I just laid all on the line here from New York Comic Con, give you my impressions, my thoughts. I'll leave links to everything in the description. I posted the pictures of what I was discussing previously. So this is interesting, and I'm just really hoping for the best for everyone involved at Marvel Games, Crystal, Square, Eidos. They're great people. Support the game as much as you can, but I'm just keeping my expectations managed for right now, because I'm still hoping it'll be great, but we'll just have to wait and see. But until next time, everyone, until the next trailer or info drop happens, stay spectacular, everyone. Stay awesome. Thank you for watching, and peace out.